Alrighty, here we go. Okay, we're officially recording, so welcome everybody. Thank you guys for joining us today. I am really fired up to be here. If you guys don't know me, let me just do a quick introduction. My name is Katie Lance. I run a social media marketing firm here in the San Francisco Bay Area, sitting here in my home office, and I help companies large and small get smarter about how to use social media. And we decided to start doing some blabs. A lot of you might know me from Periscope or Facebook, or you may not know me at all, and that's okay too. But we started thinking about doing some blabs this week and next week because we've got a really exciting launch coming up. We've got some really exciting things we've been working on in the background to help realtors, to help brokers get smarter about social media. And Tracy is an alumni of our Get Social Smart program. Plus, she's just an all-around rock star. And I thought, you know what, let's bring on some of our alumni, some people who've had a lot of success with social media in real estate, and we can have a conversation about social media strategy in real estate and talk about, some do's and don'ts and some tips and best practices. So Tracy, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My favorite subject, social media and real estate. So I'm ready to blab.
Woohoo! This is your first blab too, right?
Very first.
All right, awesome. Look, we've got like people looking at yourself. What's that?
It's just very weird to keep looking at yourself while you're talking.
Yes, this is for anybody who does any live streaming, it's one of the first things you have to kind of get over, although I don't know if I've ever gotten over looking at myself. So we've got, and by the way, for those of you who are watching, you guys can, as we're going through things, those of you who are watching live, you guys can chat questions to us. For those of you on Periscope, I'm leaning over to my camera right here on Periscope. You guys can put some questions in here on Periscope. We'll try to do a little multitasking also. And feel free to share the broadcast out. Anybody who's watching, this is going to be a great conversation for anybody specifically in real estate, but even if you're a small business owner or entrepreneur, what we talk about with social media strategy, I think can apply to anybody. So feel free to share the link out on Twitter and Facebook and all that good stuff. So let me introduce Miss Tracy. So Tracy is in beautiful New Jersey. She is now the official assistant manager, correct?
Yes.
Assistant manager for Coldwell Banker NRT.
Yes, in Westfield, New Jersey, Westfield East.
Westfield East, and it's the number one office, right?
Crazy, yes, it is. Out of all the NRT offices in the country, it's the number one office.
That is awesome. So I know I first got to know you, Tracy, because you were part of my program and you were a selling agent, and now you kind of moved into management, and now you're kind of, I guess, doing what I'm doing, but you're doing it at your office. You're teaching agents social media, which is awesome. Yeah. You're also an Inman ambassador again, which is exciting.
Very exciting. Very, very exciting. I saw Katie at the first Inman I ever went to, and when she announced she was doing her coaching program, I think I was like one of the first people to sign up. It's like, this is definitely something I want to be a part of.
That's awesome. So give people a little background, like how long have you been in real estate? How did you get to where you're at today?
Okay. I've been in real estate for about 8 years. I started working on a team for a top producer in New Jersey. I was a buyer agent for a couple of years. That got old really, really quickly, and I went out and branched out on my own, started my own brand. But even though I'd been in the business for a couple of years, the leads weren't mine. The prospects weren't mine. They belonged to the team. So I kind of had to rebuild my own brand. And I figured out pretty quickly that most of my sphere, most of the people my age bracket, suburbs of New Jersey, even though it's a really cool suburb, it's still suburbia, most of those people were on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So I went right to Facebook to get them to get to know me pretty quickly and associate me with real estate. And it worked. I would walk down the streets of Maplewood and people would say, "Oh, you're Tracy, you're a realtor, you have 2 girls and a dog." It's like, perfect. That's all you need to know about me. I don't care if you know anything else. But it worked. It was the message that I crafted. It was free, and I was targeting the right people. So I was working on my own, went back, got my broker's license. As soon as I did that, Coldwell Banker put me into their management program. Within a couple months, this opportunity came up to work in this office. These agents are amazing. They've been in the business on average 20 years. They know how to sell. They know real estate. They had resisted social media. So they brought me in to say, and they're not resisting it now. They embrace it. They really get it. They get that this is where their young buyers are coming from. They get it because their sellers want to see houses posted on Facebook. They want them tweeted out. They want them on Instagram because they know that's where the buyers are going to be. So I've been having fun for the past 6 months, getting them on Facebook, getting them to be on Instagram. We're working on video. Not everybody wants to do video, but we're working on it. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Now, I guess just to go back a second, I love how you said people would stop you on the street and they said, I know you're Tracy, and I know, they know. So how long did that take for that to happen? And I guess, can you give a little perspective about like how big is Maplewood? Is it, because, Californian over here, I have no sense of geography on the East Coast.
About 8,000 to 10,000 people. It's not very big. It's really small town suburbia, 30 minutes outside of Manhattan. Most of the people commute into the city, so it's a train town. I don't know, probably took about a year for people to really engage. And what really did it was videos. Starting to do videos with my face on them, videos of the town, videos showcasing anything really I wanted to talk about. If it was about me, if it was about a house, if it was something that I just thought was goofy. I did a video featuring my dog, and it got more hits than anything else.
That's awesome. Memorable. So when you say video, just to peel back the layers of video a little bit, because I know a lot of people are intimidated with video. Did you do video just kind of yourself, like with your iPhone, or did you hire somebody to help you do video?
Well, I have the luxury of being married to a video editor. So nice. We started very, very high end. We took months to do our video town tour. It's an awesome video. It just took forever. It's something that corporate actually uses now to show compliance when doing a town video. Like, it's really, really high end. But I just couldn't wait that long for videos. And I learned very quickly that I could get a 30, 60, 90-second video out there with my phone, and it got almost as much attention. Maybe it wasn't as evergreen because it was a video tour or, just me showcasing a community or something like that. But there's a place for both. You can do those high-end evergreen ones and pay somebody, or have your husband work late at night and on the weekends. Or you can do a really quick 90-second video. That's what I'm trying to get my agents to work on now, to get over what you look like on camera and just do it, because the videos garner more attention than anything else. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really good advice. That's something I've been saying. I mean, I've been talking about video for years and years, but even in 2016, I was just talking to a group of brand new realtors this weekend, and I said, you want to differentiate yourself? You're brand new in this business. What a great opportunity to do video, because as much as we talk about it, there's still such a small percentage of people who don't do it because they're nervous and they don't want to mess up or anything like that. But I love what you said. There's kind of no right or wrong way. I mean, there's the high end, like you said, which is great and it's professional and it looks beautiful and it lasts a long time. And then there's the stuff you take on your iPhone, which lasts a few days or whatever it might be. But I guess the one question I did have about your video too is, did you just put it on Facebook, or did you put it like on your website and then drive traffic to your website that way? Like, what did you find was the best kind of combination for that?
Well, for the evergreen ones, I put them on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
That's certainly where they got the most hits. I actually had to, I was brand new to doing it. I actually had to go back and put a watermark on it because other agents were taking it and using it to showcase the town.
Right.
This is my video.
Problem, right?
One agent offered to buy it from me. I was like, no.
Wow.
But it would go to YouTube, and then I would cross it over to Facebook. Twitter and Instagram were not as strong for me as an agent. I'm into Instagram now, much more than I was. But I think the YouTube to Facebook connection really helped the videos.
Yeah. So would you say Facebook was probably your strongest?
Oh yeah. It's where my target market was. So it just made sense to be there.
And are you're seeing that? It sounds like you're seeing that right now with the agents that are in your office that you're working with.
Well, I think for them, it's the easiest one to engage. It makes the most sense. It allows them to have a conversation, and it allows them to show listings, and it allows them to realize that there's 1.5 billion people on Facebook. Chances are most of their clients are there. Yeah. And other agents are talking to them. So if they're not in that conversation, they're going to get forgotten about.
Yeah. So what do you think you did? Because you said that you started to get traction within a year or so. Was there anything that you think you really did differently? So, I mean, almost every realtor I know has got some sort of Facebook presence, whether they're just on Facebook to watch their grandkids or they're, on the other spectrum and they're completely crushing it on Facebook. So what do you think that you did that's different than a lot of agents maybe doing on Facebook?
Well, what I did differently, I actually did because my girls are 8 and 10, and they were my assistants in everything I did, and they would go with me everywhere. And something we like to do in our town is called ghosting. So on Halloween, we would drop gifts off and run away. So we started, and they were like 5 and 7 at the time. We started doing it for Valentine's Day, for Halloween, for, random holidays, 3 or 4 times a year to like 30 people. And I started noticing whatever I dropped off would end up on Facebook. They would start talking about it. So it's like this, this was fun. It was easy and engaged them, and it was getting traction. And I forget, it was one of the 6-week sessions we had. I don't remember which one it was, but we were talking about call to action. And it's not enough anymore to just give something. You need to, ask for something back, but something fun. Yeah. And you and I talked about it, and we created the hashtag LemonadeRealtor.
Yeah.
So I dropped off a lemonade kit. It was powdered lemonade mix, pitcher and cups, and then the slogan that said, "Tracy, if Tracy hands you lemonade, what are you going to do with it?" And then I followed up with them, and I said, "All right, I've given you this kit. You have kids. Go out, have a lemonade stand, donate the money to charity, do whatever you want with it, but post your pictures to Instagram, because this is the point where I increase my Instagram following." Yeah. So I said, post the pictures. Whoever gets the most likes, I will donate X number of dollars to the charity of your choice. And I dropped it off to 30 people. I got 10 people engaged. They posted pictures. And the best part was they didn't realize that they both knew me. Oh. So then people started talking about me as this connection. And, the hashtag just totally connected it with Lemonade and Realtor. It was that simple.
Yeah.
That was a really unique thing.
That's awesome. Well, I love that you kind of took something really physical, I always talk about like turning the offline online or turning the online offline, like bridging those two. And what a cool thing. And obviously you did the work. I mean, to drop off things to 30 different people, that's a lot of work.
Finding 30 canisters of lemonade mix was a lot of work.
I'm sure you had a little factory in your kitchen with your kids putting it all together.
Well, and that's the fun part, is you get to document that, and then you can share that later on. And, it has a lot of ways that you can just keep sharing one effort. Yes, it takes a lot of time. I mean, it was $5 per person on a cost, but it takes time. So you want to get multiple uses out of it for sure.
Yeah. So I know you're in a management role right now, but when you were selling full time, it's always hard to say how much of your business comes from social media, because, it's almost like people find out about you from a lot of different ways, right? There's like breadcrumbs. Maybe they saw a sign and then their friend you were their realtor, and then they saw you on Facebook and then they decided to call you. But do you have any sense of how much of your business you think may have come from social media? I don't know if you have any numbers behind that. Again, I know it's hard to kind of quantify it sometimes.
Well, honestly, it has to be a majority of my business because I focused so much attention there. Mm-hmm. Even anything that I did in real life would go back to social. So, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say maybe 75% of my business, because I really didn't do anything else. I stopped doing mailings. Mm-hmm. If I did an ad in our local paper, it was because all the other agents were there, but I related it back to social. So I really focused a lot of my time and energy there. And honestly, in the beginning, it's cheap. Even if you're like boosting an ad or something, it's not a lot of money. If you start doing mailings and you start doing high-end ads and you start doing things like that, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely is. Even if you're just mailing to 100 or a couple hundred people, it's to have any, and I would say that stuff still works. Traditional marketing and postcards and mailing, that can all work. It's a lot of money generally, and it's a lot of money to do it right, because you can't just do it 1 or 2 months. You've got to commit to like 12, 18, 24 months, to see any kind of return on your investment.
And then the thing I like about social too, and I know I've heard you talk about it a lot, is you get insights. You get immediate gratification. You see who's looking at what. You can track what times work best. You can track video versus, versus an image versus just text. You can really tweak your campaign as you need to because the information's right there. You send out postcards, you don't know who's opening or looking at them. You don't know who's throwing them in the garbage. You have no idea what they're doing unless they call you.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for anyone who's watching live, by the way, you guys can, they're quietly listening, which is awesome. But if you guys have any questions for me or Tracy, you can put them in the chat here. And if you're watching on Periscope, you can, I keep leaning over here, Tracy, because my phone is off to the side. I'm looking at my phone. So for those of you on Periscope, you guys can put questions on Periscope too if you guys have any questions. Hey everyone, hey Allie, hey Ring Along here, thanks for being here. So now that you're in sort of this teaching mode, do you find, I guess I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question, so I don't have to put you on the spot, but sometimes I find that people will ask me, okay, what's the biggest tip for Facebook, or what's the biggest tip, for social media? And a lot of times I feel like you have to kind of take a step back to think about why you're doing this and like what's the story you're going to put out there, and how are you going to create content, and then sort of figure out which platforms make the most sense. Do you think about it in that way, like when you think about social media?
I definitely think about it. I think it always starts with being authentic and being true to your message, and every agent should have their own personal brand and kind of know what they're going to be saying. I do my best to not be negative. I don't think negative plays very well. Lightening things up with humor always works. Stay away from politics at all costs. Don't talk about that because it never ends well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and to think about different platforms. If you like Twitter, tweet all the time. I am trying to embrace it more because my agents want to know more about it. But that's a hard one for me because that requires a lot of time and a lot of consistent tweeting. And I can't do that. I can't wrap my head around that yet, but I'm trying. Yeah. Instagram is more about images. So if you have beautiful photography, if you really don't want to say much in words, Instagram works really well. If that's where your client base is coming from, and I know some agents who are younger are getting a lot of clients from it, if you go for it. But Facebook has traditionally worked for me. Yeah.
Well, and I think you make a good point of, as an agent or broker, you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to be on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Periscope and Blab and et cetera, et cetera. You just, pick one or two, do them, and once you sort of master those, you can, add them on at some point, add to your repertoire. That's something I'm a big believer in. And, just kind of going back to our Get Social Smart program, like, we teach all these different platforms, but it's not necessarily with the sense of, yes, you have to be on all 12 of these. It's more of, let me just educate you about each one and how they may make sense for your business, and then you pick which one you like the best,
Absolutely, and I'm finding that now. I mean, there's 120 agents in my office. So that's a lot of different personalities to figure out which platform works best for which agent. But the fact that I know enough about each one, I can point them in that direction. And like I said, with Twitter, learning it more and engaging in it more, because they do have agents who want to use it more. So I want to be the resource for them so that I can say, this works, this doesn't, and be that guiding force on the stuff that I'm not yet as familiar with.
Right. So do you have any agents yet who are dipping their toe into the water with Snapchat or Periscope or Facebook Live, or any of them trying that out, or yourself?
They're getting there. I'm trying out Facebook Live. I'm trying to do more video on Instagram, really trying to push the video envelope, because I do think that's the next generation of social media. I think that's where everybody should be. And it helps, I used to be very hesitant to do videos. I would do retake after retake after retake, and then finally I was like, enough. Like, this is what I look like. This is it.
Yes.
And it helps to show them examples of me just embracing that and saying, this is what I look like. This is what you look like. Go talk to the camera. Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I always say it's like a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get, the less nervous you feel, the less you sort of get over this whole looking at yourself thing.
That's right now.
Exactly. I know. It's like, totally. So I want to ask you too about time management, because this has been something. This is sort of the heart of why we've created Get Social Smart, and why we are kind of relaunching something very exciting. I can't spill the beans on what's happening, but we're launching something very exciting. I know you kind of know the scoop behind it, but the reason why we're really passionate about all this is because I know social media is such a time suck, and because I think there's this misconception that you have to be on Facebook all day long, or that you've got to be tweeting all the time, and time is all we have. You know, you said you have you've got your 2 kids. I have 2 kids. I don't want to be on social media or working 24/7. So how do you have a system for sort of managing like the social media time suck, I guess, when it comes to social media? And what advice do you give your agents when it comes to that?
Well, to answer the last question first, when I first got here and they weren't on social really at all, a handful of them were, but for the most part, they were not there. And I walked in and I said, you guys are amazing. You have been amazing for 20 years. You know how to sell. You know your business. Don't stop that, because then they'll yell at me. Like, you don't get sucked into Facebook. 5, 10, 15 minutes a day. That's it. Just start to engage your sphere and just post listings if that's all you want to do, but make sure you have friends there who are going to see it. You know, some of them wanted to post listings but didn't want to friend anyone. And I said, well, that's just talking to no one. So we can't do that. But we developed a schedule for the office itself. We have certain things we post on certain days. We're lucky enough to have a lot of inventory come through this office, so that kind of content is really easy. We can post just listeds and just solds every day, all day long, but that would get boring. So we also have the intent of adding more of a human interest. You know, these agents are amazing people. They don't just sell. They also donate to charity. They volunteer their time. They have families. They have kids. They have dogs. There's reasons why people want to work with them. So we're also focusing on that side of it.
Nice.
So there's a schedule in place for the office for sure.
So do you manage the posting the social media content?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. So you're not just teaching, you're also implementing it too.
Thankfully, I have an amazing administrative assistant here who loves Facebook. So she is great for the day-to-day stuff.
That's awesome. So we have a question from Mark. Hi, Mark. Good to see you. Mark's my social media Facebook real estate buddy. And he asks, any tips or suggestions for Facebook ads and boosting posts? That's a great question. Everybody always asks me about Facebook ads. So any tips that you have, Tracy?
We run ads. We boost posts and we run ads. I think one of the biggest learnings we had getting to know this market was, and I don't remember who said it, you may have said it, but somebody talked about the best time to boost posts and ads. And in a market like ours, we're a commuter market. So we have captive audience from like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., or 8 p.m., whenever they're on the trains. Yeah. So we can really focus our energy on boosting posts and boosting ads during that time frame. During the day, everybody's at work. They're not paying attention. So I think the focus would be to figure out who you're targeting when they're online and then post content that's relevant to them. That's great.
I think that's really, really good advice, is just looking at exactly what your market's all about, which is awesome. So let's see here. The other thing I was going to ask, I guess, as far as like with Facebook ads, do you do kind of a combination of boosting and then some other kind of dedicated Facebook ads, maybe for lead generation or recruiting?
We haven't done it for lead gen yet. We've boosted posts before. We have, we average like 20, 30 open houses every Sunday. So we'll boost those and get a lot of traction for that. And we will, on certain weeks, I've tested out links back to specific agents' pages to see if we can get some lead gen that way. And we definitely get more hits when there's a direct site that we can go to and we can track and we can look at the analytics. Yeah. So that definitely helps. We also just started running a campaign here. Caldwell Banker brand has been doing a photo contest, so to speak, just for agents on home is awesomeness and what home means to the agents. And we kind of flipped it and we've sent it out to our clients and our friends and our family. And we said, all right, now we want to know what home means to you. So now we're boosting ads to get pictures of, and we've already started to get them, them at their pool, them at graduation, whatever home means to if somebody posted vacation. It was like home is wherever your family is. Okay. So boosting ads for that has so far been really successful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and I love the obviously thinking beyond this, you know, talking about listings, of course, on social media. There's lots of content around that, but creating content around, you know, things like what home means to you and your lemonade, you know, idea, and just it doesn't take a whole lot. You know, I think sometimes we think, oh, we need this whole marketing team, like, you know, just sometimes it's just like a little extra thought.
Yeah, and focus on what you like. I mean, I like doing stuff like that. I have agents who similarly like doing things that get them out into their community and talking to other, you know, other parents, kids, or dogs, or whatever that common interest is.
Yeah.
Don't make it work for yourself. Make it fun.
Exactly.
There's already enough work in this business.
Right, exactly. It should be show fun, right? That's awesome. Well, we are kind of getting to the end of our little interview here, a little show. I promised Tracy about a half an hour. Is there anything else you want to add, Tracy? Any tips or things that you wish you would have known, or any last minute things you want to add?
No, I mean, I'm really glad I got into Get Social Smart when I did. I think it helped me. I think it helped me get more involved with Inman, which I'm grateful for. I wish there was more time. There's so much to social that we can do. And like you said before, you have to pick and choose your battles. Unless you're going to be on social 24/7, you have to kind of figure out what works for you and just do those things. But sometimes I wish that's all I could do, is just social media.
Right, just Facebook all day or So for those of you who are watching live, or if you're watching the recording, as Tracy mentioned, she's an alumni of our Get Social Smart program, and we're going to be making a really big announcement in just a few days about what Get Social Smart's all about, and some just really, really exciting things. I can't completely spill the beans, but let me give you guys the link so you guys can sign up. It's katielance.com. Hi. katielance.com/launch. So katielance.com/launch. Thank you, Byron. Hey, Miss Candy Block, how are you? And if you go to katielance.com/launch, you can sign up to be on the kind of the VIP list. You'll be the first to know about what's happening. And we're going to do a live launch party on Blab and Facebook Live and Periscope, which sort of, you know, hopefully we don't break the internet. And Tracy, I hope you'll join us. We're going to have a fun party. And I don't know if I'll be drinking coffee. I might be drinking champagne. I don't know.
And you should get a Chewbacca mask, too.
See, that will make it go viral. That's the key right there. That's awesome. Oh, my gosh. We have one more question. Do we have time for one more question, Tracy? Okay, so Check asks, have you taken advantage of Facebook video ads yet? That's a good question.
For me, yeah, absolutely. I think the best hit I got was on a video ad for a townhouse community, and I remember talking to one of the social media people at Caldwell Banker, and she was saying, if you get to like 20 or 30 cents per click, you're doing great. And with this video ad, I got down to 3 cents a click, wow. Which I was like, wow. And I mean, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the greatest video. It was me standing outside on a windy day talking about this community, yeah. But it worked, and it got people interested in the property too, which was the best part.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I can't wait to see you starting to do more Facebook Lives too, Tracy.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Tracy, for kind of being our guinea pig. This is the first time we've done this, and I'm just fired up to talk. First of all, just to selfishly have this time to chat with you and catch up. I know I'll see you at Inman in a couple months. You'll be running around tweeting and Facebooking and Facebook. Exactly. And for all of you who are watching live, thank you guys so much for watching live. We are recording this. We're going to put this up on our website here in the next couple days, and we'll send that link out. So if any of you want to watch the recording, we'll send that to you guys. And like I said, we would love for you to join our launch party. If you're curious what Get Social Smart is all about, if you're tired of the time suck vortex that a lot of people suffer with when it comes to social media, and you're ready to get your strategy in check, we would love for you to come to the party. It's just katielance.com/launch. All right, I'm going to turn off the recording, and we'll say bye for now. All right, thanks, guys.